What do you mean? What do I mean by a relationship with God? I'm sorry for answering a question with a question, but I am Jewish.
Do you believe you have a relationship with God?
I believe I try.
Okay, so how does that make you different from me?
When you say, how is my relationship different? Let me start by saying this. There's 613 commandments. It could be that one of these commandments is something which energizes me. It makes my heart beat a little faster. It makes me feel a little bit closer. I'm afraid to use too many Americanisms because you'll all vomit right now. I can even say it makes me feel a little warmer. Okay, nobody admit that I actually said that. Okay, you can cross it off the notes. Don't write it down. It makes you feel a little bit special. What does it for me may not be what does it for you. I'm just going to start by saying there's 613 commandments, some positive, some negative, and different people connect to different things. It's not like, excuse me? No. But that's not what he's asking. He was asking about the relationship. He wasn't asking about God. No, but again, if you can deal with the relationship we have to identify in terms of this ability in order to penetrate what God is about. By the way, if I can go one step, a little bit further than I've been going till now, and I want to try to deal with some of these issues. Yes.
We were talking before, and I think it's going on the same route about the uniqueness of the thing, to do with each person's unique, and your relationship with God would necessarily be unique as you are only party with it. Wouldn't naturally we can't understand this because of our nature. We neither have language to address the unique word, and we can only really understand our word. But also, isn't that the whole point of why we have names? I can't look at you because I don't have this unique quality. I don't know what I'm looking for when I look at you and think, what's unique about you? Because what am I looking for? How do I know what I'm looking for? That's why we have names, so you can say, well, this guy, he's just this guy, sort of thing, because that's who he is, as far as I'm aware, and as far as I can recognise and understand him.
Okay. I want to go back. I mean, I hear everything. I don't think that the names, that's all that there is, because move back a second. When I describe God as creator of the universe, if I describe God as a being who's all-powerful, I am again avoiding the essence of what God is. Which means the essence is something which I don't have language for. And that exactly is the problem. The essence of God is the transcendental. Or what's called in the mystical sources, the Ein Sof, without limit. I mean, again, something completely beyond. But what I could look at different people, how do they uniquely have an aspect of their relationship with God? And different people have different things. Or sometimes it's different types of personality traits. And sometimes, again, it's going to simply be the combination of these things. I agree with you that there are not always words for it. I don't think that the name is the excuse or what comes in its place. Before I gave the analogy that maybe each person has their own private song, their own private tune, their own something which is within their soul which helps push them and motivate them. And I'm using that as a metaphor. And maybe, therefore, that we are unable to communicate it. But that shouldn't stop us from appreciating it within each piece. And maybe sometimes you only get a glimpse of it. And maybe sometimes when we meet somebody else, we don't see the whole thing. And maybe we can see the whole thing. And maybe even if you're married for 50 years to the same person, and you appreciate them and you love them as much as love can possibly be directed towards another human being, but it could still be that you're missing something about what they are. And that's the way that it has to be. I mean, because when it comes down in the core, man was created in the Torah as an individual. And that individuality where man was created, one lonely person all those years ago was created. Every single one of us has that loneliness within us and this special image of God within us. And that's our uniqueness. And every one of us are Adam or Eve. Yeah. I'll tell you the first thing that you have to do is going to sound very, very simple, because it is very simple. Look. We refuse to look. We refuse to even... So many of us, when we look at other people, we compare ourselves with other people in order to make ourselves feel better. We don't always do it consciously. Well, she's pretty, but I'm prettier, right? He's smart, but I'm smarter. I mean, we look at other people in terms of comparing ourselves with others. Why do we feel a need to do that? Why so much of our, and this takes us all the way through our lives, so much of our relations with others is a conscious comparison going on between different people. And excuse me? Of course it's ego. But of course it's ego. And the truth is that we cannot get into God's mind. We cannot form the real relationship as long as we're stuck within the ego. There's no question in my mind that the reason that Moses was the greatest prophet is because Moses was the most modest man. Those are absolutely related to one another. Being the most modest man allowed Moses to be the greatest prophet. And the more that a person is caught up in their own ego, that's the direct correlation to their inability of being able to take godly things within their lives. I'll say that the comparison is only good if it helps motivate us to be better. If it causes us to put other people down, then it's something which is very negative and debilitating. If it causes us to have a less of appreciation for others, then it's terrible. If I look at another rabbi and say, wow, that rabbi is brilliant, he gave a wonderful class, right? And I say, but you know what? I think I can do something which is better. Not that I'm going to put him down, but I'm going to say, but maybe I haven't tried hard enough. Maybe I haven't prepared hard enough. Maybe I haven't taken my job seriously enough. And I'm going to use that person as a tool to help me better, but appreciating who he is, appreciating what he's done. Watching, saying, wow, that's wonderful. But other people say, come on, I can do better than that. Look at him. Look at the way that he's standing. Listen to what he's saying. It's not, I can do much better than that. So one way, the way I described it initially, that's a positive way of comparing. And I agree with you. That's sometimes quite necessary. But if at the same time I find myself cutting down the other person and attacking the other person, then I know that there's something which is there's a lack of integrity involved in it.